Day 495 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again. Another day, another LeetCode problem where we're doing daily LeetCode problems. And today we have question number 1624, largest substring between two equal characters. The difficulty level is easy, so you already know we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as well. But before we get started, y'all, don't forget to like, hype, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you need any new Apple AirPods, go ahead and check out that link in the description so you can get you some. Now let's see what the question says. Given the string S, return the length of the longest substring between two equal characters, excluding the two characters. If there is no such substring, return -1. A substring is a contiguous sequence of characters within a string. All right, y'all, so let's go ahead and take a look at these examples just to make sure that we are doing this problem correctly. So in example 1, we have our input S equals a string AA, our output is 0. Explanation says the optimal substring here is an empty substring between the two A's. So it's a 0. Boom. Example 2 says input S equals a string ABCA. The output is 2. Explanation says the optimal substring is BC. So as you can see, we want to, once again, we want to return the longest substring between two equal characters, right? So boom, right here. So right, when we come down here, we can see A and A, those are our two equal characters. And then we have BC in between A and A. So that has a count of 2 because there are two characters in between A and A. So that's how we got 2. In example 3, they might try to throw a trick question our way where there are not any equal characters. So in example 3, we have our input S equals a string C, B, Z, X, and Y. Output is -1. Explanation says there are no characters that appear twice in S. So once again, there are no equal characters, so we cannot create our substring, so we return -1. Once again, here you can see we have two characters in between A and A. That's why our output is 2, because A and A are equal characters, and there are two characters in between, which are B and C. And then here in example 1, we have AA, where we have our equal characters, but there are no characters in between, so that's why we return 0. So I hope that makes sense to y'all. And now that we understand the question, let's get into the fun part, the actual solution. Solution is not that difficult at all, so let's get into it. Now, the first thing we are going to do is we're going to create a dictionary to store the first index where each character appears. So for that, we're going to declare a variable called letter indices. Boom, just like that. Then we're going to say colon, open up the square brackets. It's going to have character colon int for the dictionary. Come outside of that, we're going to initialize it with the blank dictionary like this. Boom. Then we're going to initialize max length as -1 or default if no matching characters are found. So we'll come underneath this, declare a variable called max length, and set that equal to -1. Sorry, y'all, that should be -1. Boom. Then we're going to loop through the string with both index and the character. So you already know we're going to need to use enumerated for that, because enumerated is what gets us the index in the character. So we're going to say for, open up the parentheses, I, comma, C for index and character. Then we're going to come outside the parentheses, say ns dot enumerated. Once again, that's how this enumerated gets us the index and the character. We're going to open up the brackets. And if we've already seen this character before, we're going to check that by saying if let first index equals letter indices, indices square bracket C. Then we're going to open up the brackets and we're going to calculate the distance between the current index and the first occurrence. And then we're going to subtract 1 because we only care about the characters between the two. So we're going to say max length not yet. We're going to say max length equals max. Then we're going to open up the parentheses. We're going to pass it max length, comma, I minus first index minus 1. Boom. Come right here. We're going to say else. Open up the brackets. And if this is the first time we see the character, we're going to store its index. So we're going to say letter indices, square bracket C. We're going to set that equal to I. Boom. Now we just need to return the maximum length found, or -1 if no repeating characters exist. And since we already set max length to, this should be -1. Since we already initialized max length to start at -1, then we could just come down here and we could say return max length. Y'all, that should be all she wrote. Let's give it a run, make sure it runs properly before we submit it. Let's see, and it's accepted, y'all, so let's go ahead and submit it, make sure it's still accepted after we submit it. And look at that, y'all. 0 milliseconds beats 100% of users. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'd like to see, y'all. So with that being said, I hope y'all learned something today, and I hope to see y'all here tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. See y'all then.